before we get into this evening's live, I would like to set the stage for what I'm going to go over during the entirety of this live. It's going to be a lot more than just the XRP chart, as I have a lot of information that I want to go over. And there's a few things that I find very interesting that I think we can discuss a little bit further. I want to show the data, or at least the information from the data that shows just how much the XRP whales are betting on something big here. And it's over 100 million XRP we're accumulating, or at least over 100. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. I want to show the chart how we went down, actually touched $1.88, and we cleared that FVG area that we've talked about the last few days. But more specifically, we went down and we were able to flip the 2021 resistance at $1.98 into a major level of support right now. And that's very, very important. We created what looks like a descending triangle falling wedge. You could say like a channel as well, depending on how you want to look at it. We'll go over what I think is pretty obvious what's setting up as far as like a consolidation, and see what would happen if and when we break out of it. And we're just at that area. It's about $2.46. That if we can get up and over, that would signal about a 30% move. Obviously, there would be, well, not obviously, but there would be some shorter levels that we would have to hit along the way. But this could be the first step that would set the stage into a, let's just say, a wave 4 catapult. Like this would be an epic move here. You know, and the one part of this being epic is we'd go over $3 for the first time in almost 7 years. Since 2018. I mean, hell, it's been 7 years. It's just a couple weeks off now. So, well, not true, because we're at, no, I mean, it's been a while. It's been a while. But that's something that we're going to make history soon. It's going to be a historic moment when XRP finally finds itself in discovery. Everybody goes ballistic, and then XRP drops down. And mark my words, you're hearing me say it. XRP would then drop down to, I think, would be the next major resistance to try to flip the support, just like in 2021. And I'm not turning the comments on right now. I tried to hammer this point home yesterday, and it kind of got to an area I didn't want. I don't want to go back there, because I believe the information's important. And as long as I believe it, I believe my audience will respect that. So in 2021, we hit $1.98. That became the overwhelming cycle high. Once we broke above it now in 2024, almost 4 years later, or 3.5, actually almost 4, we're getting there. Once we did that and we broke up to $2.92, now common sense, or at least from the charting perspective, if you understand the charts, your common thought process would be, we've got to go back and touch now that major resistance that killed the cycle top. And then if we can go back down there and we can back test it properly, that's going to signal a brand new bull, like an official run, and our bull market's officially kicking off. And the fact we did that, and I was so happy yesterday when I was doing my live, besides some of the noise, because I knew what I was looking at. I think the audience did, the ones who are paying attention to the charts each and every day. And honestly, that stuff doesn't bother me like it used to. I just wanted to make sure everybody was understanding the moment we were in and the significance. And we're going to go over everything I want before I even turn the comments on. But I wanted everybody to understand the significance of 2 or 3 different things. One, the way it broke down. If we could hold and not lose $1.85, and I kept saying this throughout the last 3 days, we are so bullish, it makes my head want to blow up. But the thing I wanted to try to hammer home yesterday, before we could get into the short term, and I'm going to do it now. I did it in my video earlier, but about 80% of my live audience never watches anything outside the live. So take that for what it's worth. So you're going to have to listen to it again. So right here, what if, and don't worry about this W. Don't worry about the W that we prophesized and thought about for years. But think about it as in, what if this is one big cup that's forming? What if this is just one big cup? Like, think about this. If this is one big cup here, and then it makes like a handle, and then it comes back down to like that 298 or whatever, even if it wants to have an overzealous to 198, which might be too far, but 298, 292, somewhere, you know what I'm saying? So what if that is actually what we're in the midst of? Because I believe that's probably what's happening here. And that would only be if we're in a super cycle. And what have I been saying since the start? This is not a normal cycle. Everybody who sells out in the hopes that the market's just going to collapse is going to have another thing coming until it's ready to unfold. When I show you the Bitcoin heat liquidation map, your head is going to literally jump off your shoulders. And we're going to be watching this from the floor together. Because the amount of liquidation that comes if Bitcoin hits all-time highs will make your eyes pop out of your head. Never bet against the big dog in a cycle when it's a bull market for it. You never bet against the head dog, especially when the U.S. government's doing their dirty work and Tether's about to be delisted in Europe and they got to pump it right now. So think about the moment we're in right now. And by coincidence, folks, because, you know, none of it's by design according to some of my audience, but it is all by design according to me. RLUSD gets New York Department of Financial Services clearance just as Europe. Their exchanges are going to delist USDT. What? I ask myself, what? I ask all of you too, what? Could carry that amount of capital. Like a godsend, and the grace of the holy bells, the RLUSD is there to pick up all of that liquidity. You could not plan this any better if you tried. You couldn't. And now you see Swift scrambling, trying to make a deal with Chainlink because they know, like I said in 2021, Swift will still be around because of their GPI, but the bulk of transactions will find their way to where? The XRP ledger. It's all playing out in real time. You think it's by some coincidence that real token assets or real assets are finding their way to the ledger by tokenized gold and silver? You think that, I mean, along with the stable, you think this is by design? And like USD, I know for a fact, USDT, 20% of its revolving funds, I think I said the wrong number, but yeah, not the right space yesterday for obvious reasons. But for USDT alone, 20% of its entire flow is because of Ripple. To fund their shit. Excuse my friends. To fund their transactions between institutions and so on and so forth. 20% minimum of USDT's balance sheet is being pushed by Ripple. It's a large part of why they wanted to do the stablecoin. Why fund USDT and USDC when you can just do it yourself and then they can artificially pump the price up as long as they want? That's the beauty of this. That goes unnoticed. The other thing that goes unnoticed here is the XRP meme coins that I talked about XRP healthcare about as long as I could have earlier in this year and continued to. XRP meme coins to flip Solana. So a new era in the crypto space. This was my own personal target. The ones like, some of you have Corium, some of you have Solo. And I like XRP healthcare for different reasons. I like it because it's the virtual, well, it's going to be the new healthcare front. That's how they're going to be doing healthcare. And it's tying in the AI, the artificial intelligence, and it has less than 100 million total circulating supply. But you can't go wrong with any of them in the XRP ecosystem. Plus XRP8, sharing the same name. You know how it goes. XRP's up to $4 or $5. XRP healthcare sitting there at 50, 60, 80, a dollar, whatever. But let's say it's at 50 cents and XRP's at $4. By common denominator, somebody's going to say, ooh, what's this XRPH? And just by the name, they're going to buy it. And that's just how FOMO goes. It's so crazy to say that, but it's true. It's the same reason why more people will buy silver than gold. Because silver is cheaper. And they can buy the ounce cheap. That's why you'll get a nice run on silver soon, too. It'll be the blow off the top. That'll be just the start, actually. But anyhow, I think you get the picture. So we'll get into this. I have a lot to talk about. If I do this right, we'll get through this. We'll talk about XRP setting up another moonshot as it holds that uptrend. That was very important. I don't know what this is that opened up, but we don't need that. And we're going to go over those unbelievable Bitcoin liquidation. Just not even just Bitcoin, just across, well, Bitcoin. Yeah, no, it's got to be Bitcoin. I don't know where my other chart is. Where's my heat liquidate? Here it is. I was going to say. But we'll be looking at this heat liquidation map too because it is extraordinary. So with that being said, good evening. 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, December 11th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. It's a good day here today. Being able to see the market, being able to kind of process it a little bit here, and being able to let it unfold is kind of a cool thing here. So, Bitcoin's over 101,390. I mean, it's you just gotta have patience. Just have to have patience to let the patterns play out. And right now they're playing out. And that doesn't mean Bitcoin's bullish, but what it means is this target is still valid because this ended up. I didn't think that was an ascending wedge that was going to play down. I thought it was a fake out because the rising channel or the up channel, whatever you want to call it, was still in effect. But I don't even think that channel is possibly going to hold because our technical target here, as we've been talking about forever, is 122,000 out of that cup and handle that we started with on Bitcoin. Measuring the depth of the cup, the target was 122,000. So I'm not worried. You know, until we finish these targets, it's the same thing, the same logic I use coming out of the 30, 40, 50, 70 cent area. You know, it's the same logic I'm going to use going until this pattern is fulfilled. And for XRP, that's $5.49. We're not there yet. But if that big cup forms and it starts to make that cup before it gets up there, I mean, look the hell out, because that means we could supersede 549 and shoot up past 6, which I know it sounds crazy, but does it sound as crazy as 50 cents being at $2.42 by December 11th? When we were sitting here on November 1st and it was at 48 cents? You know, nothing's crazy when it goes crazy like this. And there's a lot of factors lining up for XRP. Now, is there going to be a historic crash after? Well, we'll discuss that when we get there, but let's not ruin the fun. And the historic crash, this is the ironic part. It could just be a crash from $5.49 back to $2 or something, right? So that means if you were waiting for 50 cents and you're like, I'll wait for the historic crash, maybe the historic crash brings you down to these levels. Who knows where it goes first? But, you know, it'll be interesting. Maybe there is no historic crash. Maybe it's just, like I've been saying, a super cycle. That's why everybody who keeps talking about the past cycles, it is valid to an extent, but it's not going to act the same way. It's still going to run as much, if not more, than past cycles, if that's the case. But now it's kind of like you're compounding it. Look how quick XRP's market cap went from like 35 billion, and now we're even sitting here at 138 billion. That's insane. We've added 100 billion in like a month. That's over 3 times the entire market cap. 4 times. So it can happen. And here's the deal. When it did that 60 minutes kibosh, the hogwash, we knew it was bearish. I mean, we were covering this live together, and my whole tone changed and said, well, this is bearish, this is a hit, but it's a good thing, right? Because we didn't want to go to 3. I feel like a broken record, but we didn't want to go to $3 and $3.10. Short term, it would have been bullish, and I understood that. But long term, it's basically throwing the white flag. We needed to retest that 2021 area. We just had to. And we had to do it with conviction, and we did. And now, as long as we don't lose, let's see, $1.88, you're fine. I know there's a lot of up and down, left and right that can happen, but this should just be the start of it. So let's get into the more than just what's on my mind. Kind of like, you know, the late show they used to do. Well, I mean, it's all boring and irrelevant. Can't watch TV anymore because it's all BS. But, you know, there was a time. Well, there was never a time, but there was a time when it wasn't like it is now. Or we didn't think. But I'm very intrigued with the patterns right now. And I'm actually very intrigued. So 272, the short target, 293. Well, it's 292. Well, we have to get over to the cycle high. And then the first real target somewhere around, it's like 310 to 320. So I just put it at 315. But the actual measurement, it gets you much higher than this. And we know the technical target end result here. But I mean, we open up. Oh, that's the opposite chart. That one I kind of left blank so we could see it right there. But I'm not even going to do this because I just did that for when we were watching it earlier so we could speculate. For some who might say that. But this is like the descending wedge. And then we also have the channel because it actually works out perfectly in this. Descending triangle, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. You can even call it a bull flag. But then, you know, That's why I put it like this, because then you could speculate and say, well, if you're starting it here and going here, well, maybe it's more of like a, it doesn't matter. The point is here is this looks like a bullish consolidation. And if we get over this downtrending resistance at $2.46.7 roughly, so 246, that's why I said in my 60-second short, about 248 to be clear. But that's what we're looking for. Looks like a massive W reversal, and it's a bullish Gartley. We had a bullish Gartley form here as well in the short term, but this is a massive. That's a massive reversal if it actually plays out. We're going to get into areas we haven't seen since 2018. And it's going to be exciting because I've never been able to say XRP is $3 plus, let alone $2 up until a couple weeks ago. That's why, like, for some, they're getting all, like, irritated and paranoid, and they're going through PMS or PCS. Paranoid crypto syndrome. But, you know, it's a little different, but we're going to have to start saying the PCS sometimes because it actually happens. Usually it occurs. Usually that syndrome you'll find happens when somebody doesn't buy before the big rallies, and then they buy the big wick, the big bullish candle or the wick, and then the PCS comes out when it's consolidating normally. You know, we'll have a normal consolidation after a 500% move, and it consolidates, 40% after a 500% move. And it's 40% from where the move actually happened. It's not 40% in totality for anybody who bought it from the bottom. That's the thing that I know it's hard to understand. But like a 40% move right now is not the same as a 40% move at 34 cents. There's a lot more cents in between. So you're either losing a lot more or you're going to gain a lot more. If you bought it cheaper, you'll watch it compound quicker, or the losses will happen quicker initially. Just because of the volume of the size of your portfolio, which is fantastic when you it's just a lot better to see it in these stages. I mean, some of you, I'll be honest, some of you started with 3 digits and now you have 4 digits. Some of you started with 4 digits and now you have 5 digits. Some of you started with 5 digits and now you have 6 digits. And some of you started with 6 digits and are probably, some of you are honing in on 1 million depending on how high up the 6 digits were. If it was like at about $250,000. So you're going up digits. That's what the market's about. When I first started in the crypto market, I was going up from the 4 digits to the 5 digits. And now it's literally, we're on the cusp of 6 figures. The figurative and literal cusp of 6 figures. Like it's very scary how close it is. So you're talking about it started with 3,500. And then over time, it's been able to build up like this. I like to have humble and I like to have humility, so I don't show it. I'm not going to get you to watch me because you see a bigger portfolio than, if you have a smaller one, or to try to convince you. I want to convince you based on what we're doing here. I want to convince you based on the fact that we were able to see the market cycle top in 2021, understand it before it even happened, to buy in before the rally, and then to be able to buy in on the cycle low in 22 and 23, or 23 and 24, to be able to ride out this beautiful wave. I want you to also understand the fact, well, we tried yesterday, but it didn't work. I took too long for some. But the Elliott wave, we were on an ABC corrective wave, and it looked like it was finally finishing up. And it was like, if that's the case, holy smokes. We're all worried. That's why I said in my 60-second short, laugh. Laugh. Laugh at all the fear. What do you got fear for? If you've been watching for any length of time, you bought in around 35 cents, maybe 40, maybe 50, depending on when you started. Maybe even 60, 70, or 80. But the point is you were watching at that time for many years. And you knew accumulation phase. This is anything but the accumulation phase. For anybody to tell you with conviction that this is not there, that this is an accumulation phase, what would you call the 2-year period when it was down at 50 cents? The metamorphing phase, the timeline shifting phase, like the dimension shift. I like, what do you call it? Because that would have been a historical accumulation zone, and if it played out the proper way, that would have been the last time you would get that accumulation chance. And that's the risk that is being run here. If this plays out bullishly in the fashion that it could, it could really change things up here in a big way because you would never see XRP at certain levels. It wouldn't be, it couldn't happen and if it did, it would take a very long time. And it would be one of those cases where it was kind of, well, we thought things were going this way. Somehow planet Earth decided to go something other than digital. Maybe AI took over and then we just never got there. And then, things just changed. It wasn't in our control anymore, which is probably what's going to happen. But until then, I personally think, and this is my own conspiracy, so I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I know any information beyond my own nonsense and bullshit ramblings in my own head. So don't take it seriously, folks. I don't want anybody to get a bad feeling. I don't want your heart to ache. I want you to be happy and loving. I believe the WEF created XRP. That's why I invested it. The cat's out of the bag. And I only believe that because it came up in my conspiracies for years. And I'm like, what the hell is this XRP? True story. So, anyhow, let's get to the comments because I'm sure we have some. All right. Let's see. If you take 100% of your initial investment being up 100%, do you have to pay taxes on that? Yeah. Yes. Whatever you sell and profit, you'll have to pay taxes on. Hey, everybody, welcome, and I really appreciate that. I appreciate everybody watching. Did you watch that video in Morning Count? Yes, I did, Pump Master Flash. Yes, follow the money indeed. Have friends who didn't listen when it was pennies. Now they're buying it. That's that, exactly. It's amazing. It's incredible seeing all that. It's incredible. I like the bullish vibe, Tom. Oh, I have bullish vibes. I do. And it's because of the way it's set up right now. Like, there's no denying what's going on right now. It's just, I always have the bearish side too, just in case. And that's why I keep saying, if it breaks $1.85, well, we have to start worrying. And if $1.65 is lost, it's over. And some are like, well, Tom, why would it be over? Well, I mean, because that's the right shoulder right here that would essentially form. Well, it would be the start of a neck that forms, right, or the head. And then when you break the neckline, all that's left is the drop below. And then create this shoulder. Maybe even push you up to $2 one last time, right? Took the elevator up. Take the stairs down. Which means you would have a chance, probably around $2 if this all went to hell, to sell it one last time. Trump said no crypto tax, but saying and doing are two completely different things, my friend. Being favored in the public eye and actually following through are two completely different things. And, we understand that. So I'll wait until he actually does it. But I'm not sure that that's even within his realm of power. So, for me to think that's going to happen, I don't know. But now I'm looking at these charts very closely. So there is a scenario here where XRP, now that we came up to the resistance structure, that we have a quick scoop at 232. And I only say that because a lot of times it likes to fill out the right side like the left side and yada, 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 you get what I'm saying. So if we have to come back down, it's down around $2.31. I don't want it to come back down there. XLM's still a little bit farther behind, so it's still got a little bit of room to run up. If it's going to come back up and retest the mid-tier point, because the uptrend's below it, just like XRP hit. XRP's within its pattern. XLM fell out, but it still could be said to just be a much wider pattern, but who knows? It held the uptrend, which is all we needed, and now we're going to see if it's bullish or bearish at this resistance. So I fully expect it to hit 47 cents, whether it's bearish or bullish. It's just if it gets back on top of this whole... And you can see XLM, just in my opinion, what it's trying to push here. Now, is it going to get enough bullish steam? That's the question. If that bounces out, do you see how big, and then it could probably swing up. Do you see how big that is? That's a massive consolidation if it plays out. Now, that's why I talk about, too, at the bearish if it happens. Like if this gets rejected at 47, well, it's probably not the best sign. We really just want to see it and then fire through here and back around and then break through. We know what the 380 million transfer was from Ripple to unknown wallet is for a speculative. Now, I don't know what it was. for speculation purposes. I've seen some other social media, like on X and stuff, pushing some fake BS. It's not true. It wasn't Ripple buying or selling anything. It was literally a move from unknown wallet to unknown wallet. That is no news. That's like me sending my stuff from Zoom to a trust wallet. It's no news. I'm not looking to sell it. I'm just looking to put it in a different address. But the speculation could be, is they're moving it from one wallet to the next because that is a funding wallet for the RLUSD. You know, I'm not trying to be a conspirator, but I'm just saying. But it could just be a funding wallet. But it's really no news, honestly. I don't talk about a lot of that because I see the unknown wallets to unknown wallet all the time. Like what I will talk about, though, for bringing it up, was the XRP whales accumulated heavily in recent price dip data shows. So large whales on the XRP ledger have been heavily accumulating the network's native cryptocurrency, with data showing that as the price of the XRP token rises, so do large whales holdings. According to data from on-chain analytics from firm Sentiment, as first pointed out by popular cryptocurrency analyst Ali Martinez, cryptocurrency whales with between 1 million and 10 million XRP tokens have accumulated more than 100 million tokens worth over $240 million when the token's price saw a small dip. Indeed, the firm's data shows that addresses in this cohort heavily accumulated the cryptocurrency over the last few weeks to now hold an estimated 479 billion XRP tokens, while addresses holding between 10 million and 100 million XRP tokens have since the beginning of the year steadily been adding more tokens, going from around 5.2 billion XRP to now have 6.91 billion tokens. And go take a look if you can find it in the stratosphere. I'm not going to do your homework for you. This is your own homework assignment. Go look at when JP Morgan tried to buy the remaining lockup in the escrow. Ask yourself why JP Morgan tried to buy the remaining XRP in the escrow in some time in the distant past. If you don't think there's something bigger going on, I don't think you're paying attention yet, but I'm going to give you that. Go look in the stratosphere and see what you can come up with. See why JP Morgan tried to buy the remaining XRP in the escrow. They were denied, but go see why they tried. What do you think the reasoning would be? So, Sentiment's data further shows that addresses with between 1 million and 10 million tokens seemingly accumulated as addresses holding 100,000 to 1 million XRP dumped amid the cryptocurrency's price rise. Look at that. Between 100,000 and 1 million XRP dumped amongst those wallets. But anybody holding 10 million to 100 million and 4 to 79 billion. I mean, look at the firm's data. Anybody who's accumulated heavily, so in the last few weeks, to now hold between 4 and 79 billion XRP tokens, while addresses holding between 10 million and 100 million tokens, or XRP tokens, have since the beginning of the year steadily been adding more tokens, going from around 5.2 billion to 6.91 billion. But addresses between 1 million and 10 million tokens seemingly accumulated as addresses holding 100,000 to 1 million, which is a whale, but still on the lower end of whale. They started dumping in the eye of the price rise. Very interesting. I mean, that doesn't look like a setup that I would want to be dumping on. I would want it to force me out. Like, force me out. Show me something that scares me. I haven't seen it yet. With the holders of latter cohort dropping by roughly 200 million XRP over the cryptocurrency's price rise. So they unloaded the ones between 100,000 and 1 million. They unloaded a total of 200 million XRP. While the ones slightly above at 10 million to 100 million, they accumulated 1.7 billion, approximately, more tokens. Think about it. More retail within that bunch. More retail that got in at a good price and just doesn't understand the game. XRP saw an astounding price rise over the past few months and is up more than 290% over the last 12-month period, going from around 62 cents to now stand at $2.46. While the cryptocurrency hasn't yet hit a new all-time high, its recent rise surprised many in the cryptocurrency space and comes as various firms, including WisdomTree, filed to list spot XRP exchange traded funds, ETFs. The SEC has yet to greenlight a spot XRP ETF, and the regulator has been in a legal battle with a major player in the XRP sector. Ripple since 2020, the SEC has accused Ripple of raising $1.3 billion through XRP sales, deeming the token an unregistered security. But y'all know that it can never be ruled a security. They could not they didn't allow that part to go through. The only thing that can change here, and this is forever, this is the law of the land for all eternity through the amendments by good old Judge Annalisa Torres. The only thing that can change, and don't let anybody trick you or tell you anything else, especially the news like 60 Minutes, is that they could switch the amount of the fine, but that's not going to happen. If everything goes according to plan, once the new Securities and Exchange Commissioner, gets elected here or gets put in the office here towards January 20th, or whenever the hell his date is, supposedly his first act is going to dismiss the rest of this BS appeal. And now if they end up dismissing it outright, imagine if the SEC doesn't even get the fine. Like, that's the funny part. That would be the slap in the face. Should have just accepted it. The cryptocurrency also recently saw a boost after Ripple secured approval for its RLUSD stablecoin with the New York Department of Financial Services, NYDFS. XRP's stellar performance can be traced back to multiple catalysts that also include Republican candidate Donald Trump's recent victory in 2024 election, the U.S. election, presidential election, which has bolstered expectations of a pro-crypto administration. Something. Now the fun. Well, first, the not so fun. Imagine XRP now has risen back from, it was at, where was XRP at? $2. What was it? $2 and, or $1.88, and now we're at $2.39. Think about this for a minute. During those last couple days while this has happened, we had, and this is all crypto. This is crypto, but I want to show you XRP real quick. Forget all of crypto. Watch XRP. This number literally blew my mind. What the heck is this? Hey, why is it not showing my number? I had it up earlier. It was a huge number. Oh, maybe it's not up there no more. Don't think that was... Oh, maybe it was all crypto what I was looking for. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Look at this. So, on that big consolidation over the last couple of days, and the 8th is kind of like the 9th for me because it overhangs because of my time zone. But look at this between Binance, OKX, Bybit, HTX, BitMEX, CoinEx, and BITUNIX. 154 million in shorts liquidated, 1.55 billion with a B. And the funny thing is that doesn't even compare to what the shorts are about to get hammered with if Bitcoin goes to an all-time high. The numbering there is off of the magnitude of what we're even seeing here. So think about it, 1.55 billion liquidated in longs, and Bitcoin and crypto just went up across the board. It retraced the entire loss that it made during those liquidations. Spot is king. Spot is king. If you leverage trade, play it safe, but spot is king for a reason. And if that's not bad enough, it won't be to the same scale. Let's take a look at our friend XRP. XRP is at $2.40, we'll call it right now. Give or take. During that massive consolidation, 53 million. But the important thing is right here, the day before now. It doesn't really matter sometimes what you do. You're screwed. Look at yesterday. Or it's even part of today, because like I said, it's not done yet because I'm technically behind what their dates are. So right now, in the current, we have 8.59 million in shorts liquidated out of XRP from these major exchanges. In longs, we have 7.22 million. So whether you're going long or short, you were screwed because there were such volatile swings that it was causing complete liquidations. And I've heard people saying this is not true. That does not mean when a stop loss is triggered. That's part of the liquidation. A liquidation means if you have $1,000 in the trade, it is fully liquidated. It means if you have $10,000, you've lost the entire bit. That means almost $16 million was fully liquidated out of XRP positions. That could have just been sitting in spot. Now they regained all losses from yesterday. And just think about that. So if you want to get into the whole, should you leverage trade? No, you should not leverage trade. Especially if you're asking me if you should or how you should, I would not leverage trade. I would get such an understanding of spot trading that you feel like, holy moly. Like you've got a good understanding. But for Bitcoin, it's starting to add up again. And it will over time. But it's like, if you just go to all-time highs and you start adding all of this up, I know I seen the numbers somewhere here. Let me look. I have it perfect. I want to put this in the, you'll start seeing how this is starting to really go in the wrong direction here for short traders with how much is starting to pile up here in a pretty short amount of time. Somebody shared it too. It was fascinating. Let's see. So if Bitcoin hits all-time highs, it's 4.5 billion in shorts will be liquidated. 4.5 billion will be liquidated in here. I'm gonna pull this up out of my email. But 4.5 billion will be liquidated out of Bitcoin if it hits all-time highs. And we can see it through the heat liquidation map. Once you get to about 102,000, it starts to get pretty quick here again. It starts to get really quick. And that's what you need for quick bursts. And if we can garner 4.2 billion in liquidations, that could be just what we need to finish off that cup and handle. You know, that could be what helps us push through. So we'll see. So anyhow, let me just pull this up so you can see what I wanted to reference. So this is what I wanted to reference. And I don't trust this person because, well, the person who I don't trust any of them, but at least I can see it in front of me on here. You know, the Bitcoin exchange liquidation map. So that's what happens if it gets up there. So, you know, that's something. But now we're going to see, is that credible or not? So, is there 4.5 billion? I mean, you can do the math. You guys can see. Let's see. I'd say there's a lot of money if we start pushing up. Because in the beginning here, 312, 267. But that's at like 102. We kind of came through there a little bit. But there's a lot of liquidity there. But if it falls off, I mean, that's exactly what can happen below. But there's a lot to take here. So there's definitely a lot of liquidity to take. So, but that's some of the stuff I wanted to get through here this evening. Right now, XRP at 239. We talked about that $2.32 possibly at the start of this. So, am I surprised? Not really. But I still think this is a very nice setup that we have going on here. So, hopefully that 231, 232 area does hold. And we don't have to pull back to like 219. Because I suppose that could be an area too. If I'm just saying like, hey, maybe this could be an area of concern. So, but this should be, we're starting the next flip. We should be able to see like a little bit of consolidation to start. And if this is bullish, just because of the way it went on this last trading cycle, there is something to be said for like XRP and XLM. Maybe, you know, it has to have a little bit of a hold this. You know, we have to hold this. So like with XLM, you'd have to just hold this. Hey, we got this little bit of a trend that's starting. Can we just, hey, is this little part going to hold? So 42.2. So then you go by that. And that's what I'm going to go by. So I'm going to look at it to go down to about 42.2. You know, and we'll see if it holds. Would you tell a friend who doesn't have XRP to buy? No, absolutely not. If I wasn't telling a friend to buy at 40 cents or 50 cents or 30 cents, I certainly would be, I'd feel really bad right now to tell them to buy it here. Well, I mean, you could, but like, I'd rather tell them it before the rally happens. Anybody, like, they say the shoe shiner can give advice once a rally starts like this. But only a wise man can give you the advice to do it before it happens. Somebody with the foresight and the wisdom to understand what's coming. So I would make your friend do some serious research to understand that significant losses can happen when you buy it in after the accumulation phase is already over. XRP Hitman, thank you for the $2 donation. I think that's the first one of the show. I greatly appreciate that. Oh, speaking of which, let me see if anybody joined Tom's Army. I don't think anybody did that. I think this is the second day in a row. No renewals, no Tom's Army, so I think it'll be very simple to get through. Very simple to get through. Let's see, YouTube. I like to do it. I like to do it to pay homage to the ones who are paying it forward. Some people, I guess, get annoyed by it, but that's okay. Takes all of 3 minutes. So let's see. Here we go. YouTube. But hopefully everybody is having a good night. What do you guys think is going to happen, honestly? I want to know, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think we're going to break out of this consolidation to the upside? Or do you think this is kind of like hey, we had to have a mild retracement back up? Nope. No new members or renewals. So nice, easy, and simplistic. Just the way I like it. So it's either this is a big reversal here, or this is a topping pattern that is coming for a rejection, and then it comes back. Or it's not going to be able to validate this, and it quickly reverses back down for XLM. But it looks more bullish than bearish. It really does. But like I said, we're not going to know anything until we see this play out. To me, the most obvious thing right now is we're coming down right after the flip for a small consolidation. If it's meant to run, it'll just be a very small consolidation, nothing to worry about. But I did want to front run it when I started my live to say that $2.31 or possibly $2.19 if it or $2.18 where I have it. So, but I think $2.31 would be actually it's a little bit lower. $2.29 would be a great spot to start here for bullish. So, but that's truly what I'm seeing. That's truly what I'm seeing. I will buy more XRP till it hits 100. Oh, you'll buy more XRP till it hits 100. $7 by December, my guess, Tom. Ooh. I like that. I like that. RLUSD approved. I don't care what the price is. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You guys got to make up your own decision. I was asked if I would personally tell somebody to buy it here. I said you have to make a very hard decision here if you don't own it. It would have been nicer if you would have told them at $1.88. Still above 50 MA retested on 2 hour. Yes, indeed. And you know, that's something I just realized. My EMA lines must not have been on for a while. I used to put them on just so we could see them. There. Glad somebody brought that up. I forgot that was off of there for some reason. But I suspect, well, again, that kind of lines up here. In the 2 hourly, we should bounce down and see if we can hold the 20, which is trying to invalidate the bearish cross here in the 2 hourly. We have a 2 hour bearish candle here, which makes sense. That's a bearish doji, often known as a gravestone, in my opinion. I don't think it's a long... no, it's definitely not a long lead. That's a gravestone. Would we agree here, for anybody who's savvy with the charts, would you agree that that's a bearish doji right here in the 2 hourly and that's a gravestone? That should at least come down, and we should probably retest the 20-day to make sure we're okay. Time should do a demo taps and send it to Fox to do a crypto report. I don't think they would let me. James says, amazing what you've done with trade. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. My sister-in-law gave me access. Oh, I want to read that. I like reading through the comments. I just had a lot to say this evening, and I didn't want to get thrown off track, so I apologize for not the back and forth for like 40 minutes. But I felt like there's a lot of important stuff that we really need to get through. He says, my sister-in-law gave me access to her Coinbase wallet, and I got her in at $2. I mean, right now she's probably happy. You could sell it now and she'd be like, wait a minute, how did I get so much, how did I gain this much? Something. But yeah, this is what I'd be looking for in all seriousness. JW been telling them family for 3 years. I gave up and joined this family. Yep, and thank you, JW, for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon Badge. Same thing happened with me. I tried and tried and tried with a lot of people, but after a while, it's you know. But Mr. Pesci, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for the first month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. And that does sound like a Pesci way of doing things. Just getting in and putting that money to work. I would expect nothing less out of Joe Pesci. To be recommended by that guy with all of his success. Inside joke between me and Mr. Pesci. So that's where we stand. Like, I want to see how this plays out. There's nothing more that we can really say and be like, hey, this is what's happening, this is how it's going to go, because we're stuck in this consolidation. I would like to just see it not come all the way to 230. I always say this. I don't want to see it. Maybe it's the 30-minute, 45 we can hold, because see the golden cross in the 45. The 30, we have a nice golden cross. But now it seems like we'd retest the 200-day on an overzealous retest in the shorter time frame to throw people off. It seems to happen all the time until the 2-hour works itself out. Because it's fine and dandy. The 1 hourly, we reverse back, and now we recrossed. And now we're retesting in the 1 hour. It seems like it's lining up pretty nicely here. But look at, and just pay attention. I know it takes a long time, but I don't care. I just want to get through everything. And if you appreciate the knowledge, you do. If you don't, you'll just move on. But I said this in my earlier update. Never tell somebody to speed up that has the knowledge that you seek. Especially when they're willing to give you it for free, because 99 out of 100 people, if they possess the knowledge you need, put a price tag above the knowledge you want. That's the difference between what I do. I made a very smart model. Don't charge for what I do. Use the pay it forward mentality. That is why I have the ability to do what I want without a sponsor. So I can say and do as I please. So, right here at $2.34, we could argue inverse left shoulder to a head to a right shoulder in this area. That could be the validation on that W that gets us out of this range. And then maybe you do that, but it could be what gets us out of here. And that's why I'm looking at this very closely. So that $2.32 to $2.35 is very crucial for me. Very crucial. Tom is the real XRP. Without him, I would not be where I'm at in crypto, and I've been in it since 2017. I appreciate that, my friend. Alice, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for your first month as well. Putting your money where your mouth is. I appreciate that. But that's why I'm straightforward, because I got nothing to gain from this except the fact that I watch this every day, and it makes me wealthier and wealthier. I do this. Hell, I get a little bit of ad revenue, and then the members of Tom's Army help me fund what I need to do on my show. So that's a win-win. But as far as talking about all of that, joining and donating and all that crap, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I would rather it just flow the way it does. So that's why I haven't been talking about it. Besides the one time to mention if anybody joined or rejoined or if somebody does do something. I just want to focus on the show. I feel like that was taking too much time away, and that's why it's changed the last couple of weeks. But anyhow, I like what I'm seeing here. I want to see this inversion create, though, right here. $2.34 would be a nice spot. If you want to come a little bit farther, you could. That's why I said 232 to 234 would be nice for me. XLM, if we're looking at the same philosophy, it's not even come up like XRP. But I thought we were pretty safe bet to say, well, maybe it does come down here. I don't know if it'll come to 41.7, though. I think that's a little overzealous, if I'm being honest, because if you look at this, we've created a combined uptrend here. So I think, you know, maybe that's all it wants to do. But I can't lie to my audience, so I do see the case to be made, and I'm just gonna stick with it. And how dumb would it be to not stick with it when I can see what's going on here, to not try to stick with it and give some BS, to try to make it look a little more bullish in the short term, you know, in the immediate 2 minutes, is stupid. Like, yeah, sure, it could happen, but it probably won't. So this is what we need to get through. Just to cut the long story short, if you want to continue out of this, and this will be a bullish consolidation, you got to get through this. Which means if you're looking to do some kind of craziness, 41.8 cents, 42 cents would probably be a good area to take a shot. Obviously, you'd have to ride it down below this consolidation, but this is what we're looking at right now in the short term. XRP Broska, thanks for the $4.99 donation. I value your work of art all of time. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Mr. Pesci, thank you so much for the $20 donation, and also being in Tom's army for, obviously we said this before, but I'll keep saying it, for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Nice. He must have took his cut on his sister-in-law's portfolio after it went up from $2 to $2.30. Oh, I see what's going on here. You got to take your cut and you got to share it with your friends. Love it. Cobb, thank you so much. Good job, guys. Tom is the chart wizard. I think we're all wizards. I've learned a lot from everybody in the audience too. That's the crazy part about this. Like, everybody thinks I'm teaching you. It goes both ways. I learned a lot about the Elliott wave from my audience. I learned a lot about tokens, particularly the AI side, and certain ones in the IoT that I wasn't particularly looking at that has changed everything. I got to run, but thanks for everything, Tom. Never stop what you're doing. Oh, Mr. Pesci, that's fine, because I'm almost done too. It's been 51 minutes. Like I've been saying the last couple of days, if you want to see a little bit more, join me on TikTok after. I do like a whole 30 minutes, sometimes maybe 45 if I'm lucky. But I don't have the charts in front of me, and I'm just talking. It's something different I've been doing the last week. Especially now, 23,300 followers there. So I'm trying to push my knowledge. Same philosophy. A lot more dicks over there, but same philosophy. AMP. 9.8 cents. AMP's tough. It seems to me like it wants to put a reversal in here. It's tough, though, because it hasn't invalidated the bearish cross. We had this reversal here, but this is the thing. Like, maybe this was the breakdown, or just maybe we were impatient and it formed a channel. Like, that's the thing with some of this. And, like, if it formed a channel, we're overzealous saying, like, oh, it did break down out of a pattern. No, it's just in a consolidation. And actually, that looks like a bullish consolidation. But if it breaks down, hey, Richard, thank you so much for the $5 donation. Tom, please check out Cava. Trust your info. I can do that before I leave. I really appreciate that. First YouTube super chat. But next time, my friend, if I see it, like if you put it down and it registers in my head, you don't have to send a donation to ask the question. Cobb, thank you for the $5 donation. I've been following you for a long time, Tom. You are consistent in my life. Thanks. You are welcome. Oh, you have been around for a while. I've seen your name quite a bit over the years. But that's what we're looking at right here, this consistent consolidation here for AMP. If it falls out of here, this is the danger. And I'm going to wrap this up, but this is the danger. Notice I didn't even talk about Bitcoin. If it does something like that, then you could be like, oh boy, we're building some kind of shoulder here. But we'll see. Right now, it's on the bullish side of town, at least. It's still on the bullish side of town. And last but not least, Cava. Yes, Julie? Okay. I'll come make sure you're doing okay. Did you get all your stuff you need for night-night? All right, I'll bring it in there. Okay. You just get your foot rested, okay? Okay, I love you. Ooh. That was in quite a big rising channel, it looks like. Ooh, I'm glad you brought this chart up for me. I used to be a big fan of Cava. Ooh. Wait a minute. Thank you for bringing... I often do things because audience members bring up things at a certain time. And I've got... I might do something because of this fine gentleman bringing this to my attention, and I'll show you why. I know it looks a little bearish. He didn't bring it to us when it was at $1, remember. This is something I say very often. This is something I say very often, and I got no problem doing this. So, sometimes we catch things. We just happen to catch them at an interesting time where we can have a teaching moment. So let me look at something real quick in my account. Okay. So Cava, this looks, and you can't confirm it yet, but on this drop, it's very possible that was a left shoulder. Two ahead, two atop, creating a shoulder, which could bring you down to somewhere around, we're pretty damn close actually. What did it say we were at? Maybe it needs, let's see. Oh no, we definitely came down there. What am I talking about? Look how far we came down. We definitely came, well, we already superseded this. What am I talking about? We already came down here. See, we already filled this. What could be. God, I love it. I love the in the moment one. This is an in the moment one. Cava is one that was in my long-term plan, and I just never ended up buying it. That's why I said thank you for telling me right now. Because look where it's at. It's at the low still. Cava has not done dick. Descending wedge. Descending wedge. What else was in a descending wedge before it finally broke out? Now that doesn't mean that it can't come all the way to 16 cents in this wedge. But man, that is interesting. And that's in a weekly. The 4-hourly needs to break this bearish trend, but like I said, it could be building a reversal or it's a topping reversal. So let me ask you guys a question. When you're looking at this with Cava, what do you guys think? Who was that said that? Richard. Okay, Richard. I think I'm going to do something I don't often do with tokens because this is one that was on my list a long time ago. But it was on my list and I couldn't buy it when it was way up here. And look where it's been. Like everybody, if you're not familiar, Cava's went all the way up to, what is this, $9? And it's sitting at 55 cents. The Cava total, and I'm so glad somebody Richard brought this up. It's not somebody because we know it's Richard. Circulating supply. And Richard, don't be offended. I have a skeleton outside. It's just a Halloween skeleton, and I keep it outside all year round. And then we call it Richard. Not after you, Richard, but that's what we call him. And he's become a household name. But look at the circulating supply of Cava. That's something that's always fascinated me. The Cava circulating. So you see, I like the name. Cava circulating supply. Total, I want to see. Total. It's 1 billion right now. And, well, maybe I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah. Total. No, not the current. Cava total circulating supply. What? Oh, because I put the P. Well, I'm not done with what I was saying. I just wanted to get this. So, do we know a total circulating supply? Why isn't it telling me? Oh, total supply. There we go. It's already in play. The total circulating supply is already in play. I just had to make sure. Very intriguing. Very intriguing one. I'm not going to lie. This is one that's intrigued me for years. And because somebody in the audience brought it up. My friend Richard, are you in this particular token? I just want to know. Are you in this token out of curiosity? Yes? Okay, that makes me even happier to do this. Whether you go down swinging or you go down fighting or you go down with the victory, XRP Future Millionaire, I think, is going to join you along on this ride. You just see exactly how I want to do this. Let's see. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. I can put it exactly where I want. And this will be nice and easy for all of us. So, I'm going to do, let me see how much I have on here. This is on my crypto.com account. I just got to see how much I have to the side right now. So, and I'm sorry, but I want to do this right in front of everybody to support my friend. It's my friend. So we got to do this. We got to go to here. We got to go to trade. Let me get my actual wallet up so I can see how much is in it. I have let's see. I thought I had more in that account, but I guess not. How much do I have in this account? Oh, this is perfect. Oh, this is easy. We got it. That's what I thought. $1,300. That's what I wanted. Because I want to. So let me do this. I want to see how many shares it is. So Cava, K-A-V-A. Okay. Add 120. So I'm going to do 2,000 tokens. I'm going to do 2,000 tokens right now. Then we'll discuss this at a further, we'll do this at a further time to see how this plays out. Zaman got, I did hear about with Zaman. I did hear some rumors about this. But yeah, I mean, that's on the daily time frame on the Golden Cross, this back tested the 200 day. If this was going to break out, this is a huge bullish back test with an inverse head and shoulders within a descending wedge. Eventually this will break out. It's just be mindful that we could be sitting here until like 2024 and much lower levels, but I don't think that's what's going to play out. I honestly think it's probably something like this. So if I was looking at it and being honest, I think that's what we're looking at. Something like that. So, I mean, your floor would end up being somewhere around 26. But in the current field, you're waiting for a back test here, and it's done it. It really has. I'm just glad that you brought this up now and not when it was up here at $1.50. Yeah, that's 60% difference from here. Or when it was way up at 7 or 8 or 10. Hey, Tom, can you explain arbitrage? Not today, because I have to go. I told Julie I was going to go, and I wanted to fill that out with Cava. So that's what I'm looking at there for Cava. I'm glad somebody brought that up. I forgot about Cava. 1 billion tokens, too. That's not terrible. Not terrible. But now I'm in something with Richard. I like it. I like it. I've kind of let IOTA play itself out now because I wanted to see the pattern. I oftentimes will buy things along with the audience. Certain things with certain people. I mean, yeah, something like that is probably what we're doing with IOTA. That's a falling channel. That is a bullish consolidation. Thank you for the $2, 777 DW. But I'm sorry, but my mind is not with you. My mind is with that part of it right now. It's checked out now. So I got to go because I got to help Julie. I promised her I would help her. I told her to get her foot up. But thank you all so much. I appreciate the vibes tonight. And I promise you tomorrow, we're going to do it better. And we're going to do it more to the point, too. And more of like that, what do we call it? Oh, the word of the day. That's right. We're going to continue with the line of humility because I loved it this evening. This made me super, super happy with the vibes tonight. Super, super happy. I know I'm being more stern in my talk. Not as friendly. But I feel like we need a serious moment the last couple of videos because big things are happening. BITUNIX is where I have my... BITUNIX is where I'm holding AMP, but it's where I like to leverage trade if I ever do. But their maker-taker fees are the lowest that I've found. HOTCOIN is where I have my IOTA and VELO. And now as of right now with Richard, I have my Cava on HOTCOIN. There is a chance that I will send it if I can eventually. Even if I have to sell it, put it in XRP and send it over to crypto.com or another exchange of my choice. But for the foreseeable future, it'll be there. And then obviously, I mean, that's a way to do that. And then you want to send donate. You guys know the rest. It's right there. You can go to the homepage. Have a blessed evening, everybody, and I'll see you back at least at the very latest tomorrow morning for the morning update before my son goes to school.